Hello, YouTube. So, as you can tell from the title, today we are going to be taking a look at the previous seasons of the hit Netflix series You. This is being filmed a couple days before the premiere of season 5, which is also the series finale. I figured for this video, what we could do is we could take a look back at some of Joe's mistakes and loose ends he's left, and who knows, maybe one of them could be his ultimate downfall, his undoing, unless, the writers decide to choose a completely random ending that no one really could have called. It's not like a TV series has ever done that before at all. But we can, try to, just for the fun of it, quick little review before the series starts. If that sounds good, stick around, let's get into it. I will mention, however, before we start, obviously, spoiler alert, I'm going to be talking about the show and I'm going to talk about it assuming you've seen up to and finished season 4. So if you haven't, this might not be the video for you, and you might want to go stream and watch the previous 4 seasons before you start the 5th. That's a random place to start a show if you don't, but I'm not judging you. But you do you. You do you. I also am going to try my best to keep in mind that Kate's family is very powerful and rich, and it seems like they've done like an extensive PR job to clean up Joe's life so he can have his old life back, the original life from season 1. I don't think we have too much information on the extent to which, what had to be done, but I'll try to keep that in mind. For season 1, we have 4 main suspects who could be the downfall to Joe, assuming the writers look back on what has happened in the show's past. Number 1 would be Beck's family. Obviously, they would want revenge on him for the death of Beck. I'm sure, someone in her family has figured out at this point. From the previews, her friend, she seems to be in season 5. She's figured it out. I'm sure if she's in contact with any of Beck's family, she's probably mentioned her suspicions to them. I know that it was mentioned in the season that Beck has a sister, and checking my notes, and her sister's name is Anya. And she has a brother named Clyde. I don't know if Clyde is still alive or not, or if I'm getting her mixed up with Candace's brother, if she has a brother. But Beck's family, one of them could decide it's time to get our justice. Another option could be Paco. Paco, the cute little neighbor boy that Joe helped out. He knows that Joe has at least 2 people. He knows that Joe, he was there and witnessed Joe, Roy, and he turned down Beck's pleas for help whenever she was trapped in Joe's little basement area of the bookstore. So maybe this is fighting him and he decides he wants to come back. It's been a time jump. I don't know how old he would be, but that is a loose end, and it could be what makes it all come unraveled. Another option could be Dr. Nikki. Dr. Nikki got falsely accused of Beck's, and we've already seen him from prison talking to 40 in season 2 about how Joe Goldberg is a very evil and dangerous man. So maybe somehow Dr. Nikki from prison is able to work things out and try to clear his name and take Joe down in the process. The 4th suspect would be the Salinger family. Peach, Beck's friend, and ultimately one of Joe's victims. Her family is like rich, like old money rich, like JD Salinger rich. So we've already seen them try to get like a private investigator. Nothing really much came from that, so maybe this is the time to bring that back. Something else having to do with the Salingers that was never really talked about is the pee cup. When Joe broke into one of the Salinger homes, he needed to pee, so he went in a cup and put the cup down on a shelf. Nothing ever came from this. And it's kind of random that they would show it and it not have any kind of payoff. But I mean, I guess that was a choice, but it'd be pretty funny if after all these years and all this hard work, a cup of pee is what ultimately sends away this serial killer. For season 1, we have 2 wild cards. These are options that would be really random and not really likely at all, but I just want to mention them just for the off chance that this actually ends up being something. So maybe somebody in Benji's family. I think Benji was Joe's first on-screen victim. Beck's fling on off boyfriend situationship thing. Maybe his family wants answers. I don't know who took the fall for. Maybe Dr. Nikki took the fall for him. I don't know. But that's an option. And then even more unlikely would be Ethan, which was Joe's bookstore co-worker. I don't even know if he works there. I know Mooney's, which is the bookstore, it makes appearances apparently in season 5. I don't know to what extent, and I don't know if Ethan is still working there or not. That would be really random though. It's like, just live your quiet life and go chill. Don't worry about your coworker. Just, no. Who knows? Hey, hi. Chai in editing mode. I was just thinking, you know who I know isn't a part of this? Who isn't going to be Joe's downfall? Karen Minty. Why? Because she knew that he was no good when he hooked back up with Beck. She got her stuff, but she left. She knew how to mind her business. I don't think she's coming back. And good on her. Because if there's one thing that we love, it's a queen who knows how to mind her own business. It'll take you far from other people's BS. Once again, for season 2, we have 4 suspects. We're gonna have 2 random wild cards. Number 1, Ellie. Poor Ellie. Okay, Joe just came and turned her life totally upside down. I mean, it's a good thing that Joe was around to take care of Henderson when, you know, things got very sketchy. However, if she would have never met Joe, her sister, Delilah, would still be alive. She, I think, even says on screen, one of her last lines is that Joe ruined her life, okay? I don't see how she wouldn't want revenge. It's like she has the personality for it. She's fiery, she didn't just take stuff. She didn't. She's a fighter, so I could see her somehow. I don't think Jenna Ortega had time to come back and film for season 5 since she was away doing stuff for Wednesday and like all the other billion projects she's been working on. But who knows, maybe she somehow was able to make like a voice cameo. Maybe somehow Ellie orchestrates or helps with the downfall. It could be multiple characters. But if there is, I hope that Ellie is one of them, because justice for Ellie. Seriously. Another suspect is the original Will Bettelheim, which was the guy that Joe, he stole his identity and locked him away in the cage. And he is the only person who made it in and out of the cage by Joe's hand. Season 3, the married couple, they make it out, but they made it out on their own. Joe actually had it within himself, something about Will, to where he wanted to get him out. I really hope he doesn't come back, because it's like, just live your quiet life in the Philippines with Gigi and just let go of it. But I fear that is not the case, because I think I saw Will Bettelheim being mentioned in season 5. So if he does come back, I hope that he makes it out this time. But running into Joe twice, getting away from him one time, that's crazy, but twice, that does not seem possible at all. This next one probably could have been mentioned as a wild card, because I don't think it's likely at all, because his character was such a throwaway. But it's David, the random cop guy that was like really into Delilah. He seemed to be really suspicious and onto Joe, and he seemed like he was going to stir up trouble for him, but that never really led to anything. So that would be a choice for him to be involved in the downfall. Maybe he's the cop who takes him in somehow. I don't know, man. Next on the list would be somebody from Candace's family. I understand that technically love is the reason why Candace, is no longer here. However, maybe they're like, okay, Candace was dating Joe. Her life seemed to go off the rails the moment that she got in a relationship with this man. And so now he's back in his old life, so maybe one of her family members decides to take it into their own hands. Idea just hit me. What if, like, a family member from, and we're gonna get into season 3, what if a family member from each of his romantic interests who also became his victims teamed up? So one of Beck's family members teamed up with one of Candace's family members, who teamed up with one of, spoiler alert, I mean, if you're here, you know this, one of Love's family members. Who knows? That would be pretty interesting. Okay, time for the random wild cards. Totally not likely, but still just to throw it out there. Maybe somebody who has ties to Hendy, or somebody, this is really crazy and would be so random, Jasper, the guy who was hunting after the original Will Bettelheim and he cut off like Joe's finger or something. What if somebody is looking for Jasper? It's like a chain. Jasper looking for Will. How do we know Jasper was on the up and up with everybody? Who knows? Maybe they could get word that he was looking for Will, and I don't know. It doesn't make any sense, but I just wanted to mention it because if for some off reason the writers bring that in for some reason, at least I mentioned it. Season 3, we have, once again, 4 suspects, just one wild card this time. Number 1, anyone in Love's family. She has her mom and her dad left. Who knows if she has any secret siblings hiding away? This seems like a show that will pull that card out. But they're powerful, they're rich. If the Salingers were able to get a private investigator, I don't see... Didn't they already? I think Love's family did get a private investigator, but they let Joe go and think that, he was a... Or was that a hallucination? Either way, Joe is obviously very much alive and he has his life back. I'm sure Love's family knows, and they all seemed unhinged enough to want to seek revenge on him. Suspects number 2 are the next door neighbors, or former next door neighbors, Theo and his dad Matthew. Matthew's wife, Theo's stepmom Natalie, she was by Love, and I don't know if they understand that Love, well, yeah, they probably do understand that Love did it and Joe was, maybe they thought Joe was a weak accomplice or his wife was doing it and he was forced to hide it. Either way, Matthew seemed very determined to bring Joe down when he believed that he had something to do with his wife's. Who knows, maybe he's over it or there's been some kind of an explanation that he's okay with, but this is a loose end that they could possibly bring back somehow. Who knows? Then again, maybe Matthew and Theo would be willing to look the other way because Joe did, in fact, save Theo from Love after she thought she killed him. So, I don't really know. I would like for them to at least be mentioned in season 5. I would like to know what they think about this Joe Goldberg that everyone knows about now. Suspect number 3 would be Dante, the librarian, and his partner. We know that Joe left Henry with them at the end of season 2. However, there is a little boy in season 5, and I don't know yet if it has been confirmed that this little boy is Henry, but it's very much clear that this boy is one of Joe's children. So if it is Henry, he got him back somehow. It's just a matter as to how that happened. Honestly, Dante and his partner would be much better off minding their business after giving him back his son. Hopefully they didn't put up too much of a fight. This is something that we'll clearly see in season 5, I hope. I mean, it would be nice for things to be explained, but I don't want to give shows too much credit because, once again, we've had shows that, you know, they just pull things out of the air, it seems. So hopefully. Suspects number 4, once again, I hope they mind their business. Sherry and Carrie, the married couple that were in the cage and eventually made it out and took their experience to strengthen their marriage and do TED Talk like speeches using the cage for, I guess, a metaphor on how to fix your marriage. They should just stick to that and not try to be crime fighters. For season 3's wild card, basically anyone at all tied to Ryan. Ryan, of course, is Marianne's ex. He was a news anchor. I don't know if they ever explained or gave a reason as to his... I don't think Joe got rid of his body or anything like that. That's a loose end. He was a news anchor. People watch the news. That's like a local celebrity. Surely there were questions. Surely he had family that wanted answers. Who knows? It would be random, but wouldn't be too far off. But then again, Kate's money and power, her family, they could make anyone probably be quiet. And a local news anchor versus someone like that, no. So we probably won't be hearing much about that storyline at all. So for season 4, we have 3 suspects and we have 1 wild card. Suspect number 1 is more so a group of people. It would be any family or friends, probably mostly family, of any of the rich people that in season 4, not counting Adam, because Adam was one of Lockwood's victims. So unless one of Adam's family wants to take down Kate and Joe, I don't see why Joe would be singled out by his family. So that leaves us with the family members of Simon, Gemma, Malcolm, and Reese. You know, maybe their families want revenge. They have money, so that's like not an option. It would just be a matter of, I guess, if they do it or not. But then again, Kate's family is much more powerful and richer than everyone else's family, so who knows? Hush money. But surely you think we would get more about Reese, because, I mean, he was a politician. He seemed like he was a pretty big deal. I can't remember how they explained away his death or any of that, but I don't know. That's really interesting. Hopefully the writers, you know, thought of that and at least make some kind of a mention to it. Next up, we have Joe's former student, Nadia. Of course, Nadia got framed for Eddie, her boyfriend, after, you know, Joe came and did his thing. So maybe while she's locked away somewhere, somehow, maybe she's able to team up with someone. She seems like a really smart girl. She is a really smart girl. So I'm sure she showed up in the trailers. So she has to come into this some kind of way. I just want her, once again, she's like Ellie, justice for Nadia, because Joe really is just ruthless and disgusting. And I really feel for her. I mean, like, she literally figured out how to get Marianne out of the cage. And hopefully she can come up with some type of plan to help rescue herself, something, or someone help her, which leads me into the next suspect, and I really hope it's not the case, but Marianne. Girl, stay away from Joe. You got away from him not once, but twice. Granted, the first time you weren't locked up. You got away from him when Love let you walk out of that house. You got away from him over in Europe when he captured you in the little cage and the setup thing. Stay away from him. Think of Juliet, okay? I know that's not the case though, because I saw you. I saw you in season 5. Girl. This season's wild card would basically tie into Kate, and I think we are gonna see something play out. I'm sure It's known that Joe had something to do with Tom Lockwood's. It's really weird to me that he married Kate. She has all these siblings. She has a whole gang of siblings. And you can't tell me not one of them figured out that he had something to do with the death of their father, and they're just cool with it? No. Somebody's gonna want revenge. I'm sure of it. It's like, what, 7 of them? Come on, one of them is gonna be crazy and off like their dad, I'm sure. So seemingly we're done here, but no, I have 4 more suspects, and I didn't have another season I could really place this in, so I have this labeled Joe's future and past. Maybe his mom comes and takes him down. What happened to her? We don't really get much. The story for her kind of cut off. The last we saw, she started up her new family, but I don't know. I feel like there's more to that, which leads into the next suspect. When she started that new family, she had another kid. Joe has a half-brother out there somewhere. Did the half-brother become a cop? Is the half-brother off like Joe is? Does the half-brother have anything to do with anything at all? I don't know. But he could easily pop up and decide he wants something to do with him. Next up, Kate. What if one of the U's becomes the reason that Joe finally meets his end? There's been so many. There was Beck, Love, just everybody. It would be so good and nice to see somebody who became his obsession be his downfall, which would also in a way be him being his own downfall. It would be great, but I honestly feel like this isn't a very strong option, only because I don't see Kate making it past this season. I don't, because it's like Joe has another obsession that does come along in this season. The last time he had an obsession and he was married, his wife ended up. So we'll see what happens, I guess. The final suspect would be his own son, Henry, or this kid if this isn't Henry. It would be a full circle moment. I don't know. It might seem like kind of cheap because Joe killed his dad or father figure. I don't know if that guy was his dad or not. But I mean, it'd be an option, but it'd be kind of like a safe and boring one. Once again, I don't know. This was all for fun. This is just 2 buddies chatting about a TV show. We will know though April 24th when season 5 gets dropped to Netflix. In the meantime, why don't you comment down below who it is you think that might be Joe's downfall, or what, you know, because the B cup, that's not a person, that's a thing. So comment down below who you think might be the reason why Joe gets caught, if you think he even gets caught. Like, subscribe, share, stick around and stay tuned because more videos will be coming, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks!